sparkly rainbow, which goes like quickle caw caw caw. It is Queen Buttstuck, the most beautiful and perfectest ruler in all the land.
Hold on, what game are we playing here?
We're playing Bunkers and Badasses, baby!
Right off the bat, I want to say I hesitated buying this game. I was nervous that this would be similar to Borderlands 3, and I didn't know where to go with it. I didn't know if I would enjoy it, if I would be let down, or if I would think that it was cringe or just awkward.
Don't forget to like, follow, and obey.
Personally, Borderlands 3 has been a very good game for a lot of people, and a lot of people enjoyed it. Some of my best friends have played tons of hours in that game, but for myself, with all the bugs that I had on release, it just lost my attention, and jumping back into it always felt like a chore. As for Tiny Tina's Wonderland, I felt that this was a great entry so far, and I think that if they keep going down this path, this can make the Gearbox games be even better than their predecessors and set a standpoint for all the rest of them. But we're not here to talk about the other Borderlands games, we're here to talk about Tiny Tina's Wonderland and whether or not it's worth it. Game throws you into a D&D setting where Tiny Tina calls it Bunkers and Badasses. To me, I find this a fun little twist. I know that it's probably for copyright reasons that they don't use Dungeons and Dragons. The tone of the game is set right from the start with a cutscene. It is just Will Arnett and the other voice actor for Tiny Tina, Ashley Birch, riffing off each other. I wouldn't be surprised if this was just off the top of their heads because it was so funny. They talk about like our character not being painted and we're the newbie, and then you're off. You set up your character, you go into this world, and you start shooting things. And it is hilarious. I love the writing. I love the voice acting. Andy Samberg's in it. So is Wanda Sykes. She does a great job. I find her a lot better than Andy Samberg's character, but the hard carries have to be Will Arnett and Ashley Birch. These two basically carry the whole entire game on their back and set a pace that is just absolutely amazing, and they make it an absolute joy to go around in this world. Another thing I like is that they have an overworld that is much better than what they used to have. The ship that they had in Borderlands 3 was a little bit of a mess, and I would constantly be getting lost, not knowing to go up or down, and it was just not fun to play in. Personally, I know there's some people that love that world and love everything that has to do with Borderlands 3. For myself, I'm not a big fan, or at least I don't really care for it. But the overworld is now a D&D setting. They have you playing as a caricature of yourself, like a little chibi character of yourself, walking around, activating levels, walking into dungeons, going into the next set piece for the campaign, or even just backtracking, which I didn't find a problem in this game. I actually found it kind of fun because I stumbled across a few different storylines. At one point, we had a rendition of Pinocchio. We had Jack and the Beanstalk.
Say, that town over there looks like a lovely spot to, take root. If you just give me a little flick in that direction, I'd be so appreciative.
Which I actually loved. I love the fact that they did that in their own version of it. And it was the same comedic humor that we'd expect from a Gearbox game. I like the active changes that they made to the actual gameplay. Them getting rid of the nades and switching it out with a spell is just a better addition to the game completely. And I think that it's a lot of fun, and it gives me another looting object to look for while I'm picking up items. I can look for a good spell that I can attach to my character that will scale with my character's specs, and basically it adds more dimensions to the build itself. They also added rings, armor, etc, etc, a bunch of stuff that would be in a D&D game, which is great. Things that we had happen during our campaign that was not great was the fact that there was a constant bug or a glitch that would happen here and there. We had one glitch that was so bad that it completely halted our progress, and we had to restart our games from another save point because it was completely stopped and halted. Like, we could not continue because one of the AI characters was just trapped in a certain section of the map. We had UI issues. This being that the characters looked like they were alive when they were dead, or dead when they were alive. So we didn't know when one of us would get downed to go pick each other up unless we actively said it in voice chat. Biggest issues that I had that my brother didn't have. I have it on PS5, so I have haptic feedback on my controller. This was a constant issue because the haptic feedback would be in and out of functionality. It would work some moments and not work others. And this would be awkward. It would feel empty and annoying because you'd get used to the haptic feedback in one area, walk into another area, and then all of a sudden it'd be gone. I think it's important to note that all the bugs that I had only occurred and happened when I was playing multiplayer. This did not happen when I was playing single player. And for the most part, for those who plan on buying this game to play it single player, most probably you won't have the same haptic issue or teammate being down and not being able to be seen, or glitches where, you know, the game completely comes to a halt. I think that you will probably have a very clean and fun experience without all those problems. If you do play cross-platform, most probably you're going to hit some sort of bugs, especially now that the game has just come out. The loot rate has been revised, which is great. When you finally do get a gold weapon, it gives you this little adrenaline rush, like, oh, what is it? What am I getting? Am I getting something for my character? Is it for an alt character? What is this? It's a great feeling, and I think that they lost that in Borderlands 3, and they redeemed it in this one. One thing I could recommend is bumping the game up to the hardest difficulty. During my playthrough, there was many moments where playing on normal, I found it a bit boring. And I think that by bumping it up to the hardest difficulty, it really added another dimension to the game where my build mattered, the timing on my nades and my skills mattered, and it could be the difference between being alive or dead. So I want to put this one little clip into this video just because of the fact that it was so good that there's no way that I cannot put it in here. I'm going to put a little time frame so like that if you guys don't want to be spoiled on this, or if you do plan on buying the game, you could just experience this for the first time. But this was so good that like I think people will want to buy the game just from this one part in this campaign.
Together we stormed o'er many a shore, an oath to the other we both swore. Why, Charlie was my true amour, blow me bony boys blow. He drew the skeleton man, his song of woe heard cross the sands. One day when our penance is done, we'll take our chance and go. But in my fears of losing him, dealt with the devil and paid in sin. We gained our years but lost our skin. Blow me, bony boys, blow.
Oh yeah, I got him with the old live forever grift. Works all the time. No shortage of wayward souls clinging to the scraps of fading memories. Jeez, listen to me. I sound like her.
We had just literally experienced that, turned to each other and said, all right, this game's a banger, right? It was a really funny moment. It was really funny. But I played about 20 hours into the game now. I haven't completed it, but still with the little bit that I have played and from the point and perspective that I've reached right now, I could definitely give my opinion. This game right here is a banger. And the sheer amount of time and content that I have played in this game, I can easily say that this is a full price tag purchase, would recommend to anyone. And this is a looter shooter's dream. If you like the video, hit the sub button, hit the like button, leave a comment. If you guys leave a comment about what game you'd like for me to review, I might just do it if it gets enough likes. And then after, not only that, but I'm also going to quote you and put a picture of your comment on my next video. Thank you so much. All the best. Never change. You beautiful bastard.